Mulholland Drive, a fever dream of mystery, obsession, and fractured identity. It's the thriller that has haunted minds, inspired countless think pieces, and now it's been crowned the best thriller of the 21st century. But what makes this surreal neo-noir from the late David Lynch so unforgettable? Buckle up, because we're about to take a detour into the dark, twisty, hypnotic world of Mulholland Drive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the films that define generations. And hey, drop a comment below. What's your favorite David Lynch moment? In a new list compiled by the New York Times, the top 100 films of the 21st century were voted on by a selection of esteemed film critics, directors, and cinema scholars. And while Parasite took the overall #1 spot, the top thriller honor belongs to David Lynch's Mulholland Drive, ranked #2 overall, just behind Bong Joon-ho's Academy Award-winning masterpiece. Mulholland Drive isn't just the best thriller, it's also the highest-ranked English-language film on the list. Not bad for a movie that almost didn't exist. Let's rewind the tape. Mulholland Drive wasn't supposed to be a movie, at least not in the beginning. The project started life as a television pilot developed for ABC, with a similar structure to Twin Peaks, Lynch's earlier cult TV series that changed the rules of small-screen storytelling. The pilot had the bones of a long-form mystery, a labyrinthine plot, characters with secrets, scenes loaded with Lynch's trademark surreal tension. But network execs weren't convinced. They found the pilot too weird, too confusing, and canceled it in 1999. That could have been the end, but it wasn't. Enter Studio Canal, the French film company that saw potential in the strange, dreamlike footage. They gave Lynch the green light to take what he had and transform it into a feature-length movie. With new financing, Lynch shot additional scenes or overhauled the narrative and gave the story a radical new structure and ending. The result? A hypnotic, nightmarish, and deeply emotional cinematic puzzle that premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in 2001 to thunderous acclaim. It was weird. It was beautiful. It was Lynch at his most unapologetically Lynchian. But what exactly is Mulholland Drive about? That question has sparked 2 decades of analysis, speculation, and heated debates in film schools, Reddit threads, and late-night dorm room conversations. Still, here's the closest thing to a straight answer. Naomi Watts stars as Betty Elms, a hopeful actress from a small town in Ontario, Canada, who arrives in Los Angeles dreaming of stardom. When she arrives at her aunt's apartment, she finds a mysterious, beautiful woman hiding there. This woman, played by Laura Herring, has lost her memory after a car crash on, you guessed it, Mulholland Drive. With no idea who she is, she adopts the name Rita after seeing a poster for the 1940s film Gilda, starring Rita Hayworth. As Betty and Rita attempt to piece together Rita's identity, they stumble into a surreal conspiracy that spirals into a dreamlike descent through Hollywood's darkest corners. There's a blue key, a strange box, a haunting nightclub called Club Silencio, and somewhere behind it all, a truth neither of them are prepared to face. Meanwhile, in what seems like a parallel storyline, a Hollywood director named Adam Kesher, played by Justin Theroux, is strong-armed by shadowy mob figures to cast a specific unknown actress in his next film. Then there's the hitman, Joe Messing, who botches a job so badly it borders on slapstick violence. And there's the man with the terrifying nightmare of the monstrous figure hiding behind a dumpster at a Winky's diner. What ties all of these bizarre elements together? That's the trick. Because Mulholland Drive isn't a linear narrative. It's a psychological kaleidoscope. A riddle wrapped in a hallucination. Somewhere around the 2/3 mark, everything shifts. Characters change identities. Realities collapse into one another. The cheerful tone of Betty's Hollywood fantasy turns dark, tragic, and disturbing. By the end, you're left wondering if the first half of the movie was all a dream, a fantasy constructed by a woman tormented by guilt, regret, and unfulfilled dreams. And that's the point. This isn't a movie that tells you what to think. It's a movie that makes you think. Film critics have long hailed Mulholland Drive as one of the great works of modern cinema. Collider's Thomas Butt even called it a sacred text for those aspiring to use art as a device to solve the cryptic nature of the world. And while it wasn't a box office hit, earning just under $20 million globally on a modest budget, it cemented David Lynch's legacy as a filmmaker who defied convention and rewrote the rules of what a movie could be.